Okay, Coach, EA Sports coverage of the NFL leads us to a snow-covered Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, PA. This was the scene just a few moments ago as the Pittsburgh faithful were fired up by the hometown Steelers taking the field. They're all set as they'll match up with the Cleveland Browns. The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13.
Let's go, baby.
This is a guy who made a Pro Bowl in his second season, James Conner. And from the 25, they worked this to the 29, a gain of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. On second down, Conner looking for space. He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4.
Under 10. 10. Slap. Hey, watch this. One.
On 3rd down, it's Conner. They get the first. The decision to run on 3rd and medium winds up being a good one. Defense had a chance to get off the field here on the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important 3rd down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
He's coming, double up. Wide. Get wide. Fires the mic. Hey, watch this. One.
A first down throw for Mariota. Throw left side complete. It's McKenzie. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
And they get to Mariota here as he's dropped on the sack. Larry Ogunjobi in for the sack. Getting into the act on the opening drive here with a sack. And remember, they had 5 last week.
And they saw that on film, and that meant that they had to get together. Offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, offensive line coach, receivers coach, and say, how do we beat this pressure? Because everyone has to win against the defense and get the ball out of the hands of the quarterback very quickly.
A first carry now. This is Johnson. And this won't be enough. A good secured tackle, and they stop him a few yards shy at the 46. 9 yards on the carry, but it's going to lead to a 4th down. Okay, look at this. The punt team nowhere to be found. They're on the sidelines. Offense going to go for this on the opening drive.
Where are they, team?
They're indeed going. It's Mariota. And it is incomplete. A surprising move here on the opening drive of the game. And the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position. First carry now for Kareem Hunt. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
And the lane closes up quickly as he'll get about 3 down to the 38.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
So 3rd and 2, this quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. They'll try to run for the first down with Hunt, and he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. And with the snow here, maybe asking too much of the kicker to try a field goal. So instead, offense on the field, they'll go for it on 4th down. Out to his left. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. The Browns unable to move the chains on 4th down. And this Steeler defense able to come up with a stop. So good field position for the Steelers as they come up 1st and 10.
Get that quarterback, D-line. D-line, get that quarterback. Check safety, check safety. Three. Check. Check. Move.
It's Connor as they stay on the ground. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
On 2nd down now, it's Connor, and he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No score after 1 on EA Sports.
I got you. One. Go. Three.
Here's Mariota. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Sheldon Richardson in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack, and that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And last time they were very fortunate, this offense. They went for it on 4th, turned it over in their own territory, but the other guys held up. They didn't give up any points.
So how about the guy with the #1 headset on the sidelines, the head coach? That was planned going into it, not necessarily to not get the first down or to have the defense have to hold up.
But he trusted his defense.
Trusted his defense very much, and I think that's how he's going to play this game. Go for it, be aggressive, because I've got the Wild Bunch backing me up over here on my own sideline.
Yeah, we'll see what his offense can do. And now here's a deep shot that's complete. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A gain there of 30 big ones. Not really any offense for them to speak of here in this first half. Maybe that's what they needed, that big play.
Yeah, it seems that maybe everything changes right there. They've been a little slow out of the gate. We've seen that. But that one big play, that could spark a big burst right here.
On first down, they'll run with Hunt. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last two plays.
Oh, you Kareem Hunt. We know you've got the power. We know you've got the speed. Now how about that? Show us a little bit of that wiggle in there. How about that one, partner?
Can you imagine trying to tackle that? Yeah, I'll stay up here with you. First down, Mayfield. Oh, did he hang on to it? He did on the dive. Nice grab. 12 more yards there and another first down. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. A run for Nick Chubb. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
What a luxury to have a guy like this who can not only spell your starter, but can come in and keep drives going.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8. A first red zone opportunity for the Browns thus far. They have a 1st and 10 at the 18. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. Forced out to his left. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down. They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb, his 5th touchdown now on the year. As his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Extra point through the snowflakes, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. It hasn't gone particularly well for them, that's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
Larry Ogunjobi there to make the tackle.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
On 2nd and 9, Mariota, second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the first as the tackle is made at the 33. That'll be good for 6, but now it's 4th down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They failed once in this spot earlier, but the offense will stay out to go for it on 4th down.
Right here.
They'll try and throw for it here. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And this is going to be incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position. So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33.
Run. He's checking.
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Antonio Callaway, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Undercross. Check. Lucky.
Throwing again, Mayfield on second and 10. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they did incompletions on first and second down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. If you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Now the offense failed earlier on the previous crack at this, but they're going again on fourth down. Now Mayfield on fourth down. Green with a catch left side. Wow, first and goal, and defensively all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. After the big play, and chance to finish now on first and goal. Trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Bud Dupree. And he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals, and if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
Following the interception here, Mariota going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds.
Good. 20. Point it right.
They'll try to run with Hunt, and he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Back at the 5-yard line now, second and goal. Mayfield to throw it. Dancing to his left. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement, and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end zone?
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Final play of the half, Mayfield. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. This snow front that has socked much of the East Coast not going away as we are back to it in the second half. The Browns drive about to get started. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you termed that because...
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Cameron Hayward in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
And that's his second sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
Hey, 133.
Throwing on second and long. Mayfield. Over the middle, complete. It's Hunt. That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for third down.
Point it right. Hey, Charlie.
On third and one, here's Mayfield. Flush to his right. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not.
That would be exactly what they were looking for coming out to start the third quarter. Get a sack, get off the field, get the momentum going in their direction.
Get the ball back to your offense, right? Get that momentum because, hey, this lead is very, very slim. Now, the offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. On 4th down, they snap it to Mayfield. And able to find Green. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Well, they deemed it 4-down territory, and they got 4 yards to pick up the first. Here's a throw out wide complete to his running back right side. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. And all the way down to the 33-yard line. That goes for a gain of 31. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Rolling to his right. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. 2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line.
King.
And again, it's Mayfield. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Mayfield in this Browns offense staring at a 3rd and long now after the sack. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
And what would the dive look that time on defense? Just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Now the offense not going anywhere. They're staying out there. They've converted once already on this drive. Here they go again on 4th down. Throwing, Mayfield. He's got his man here. It's Green. That pickup goes for 25. What a flip of the script from 4th down to 1st. Mayfield leaves it for Hunt on the draw.
There's simply no sense in wasting a great catch.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Kareem Hunt, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. Extra point by Seibert up and good. And it's now 14-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. So a very short kick here. This will be taken by one of the up men. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half. Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home. Watch safety creep. Watch safety creep. One. Safety creeping. Check that.
Again, it's Connor. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
Come on.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Switch it. Come on, switch it. Big dad. One. Check 24.
On 3rd down, Connor. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. 3rd down turns to 1st with that 5-yard pickup.
Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a 1st down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
Check 3. Check 3. Kill. One. Hey.
The 1st down carry here for Johnson. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's it, baby.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Get him. Like 5. My 2, fellas, let's go. I got you.
On play action, Mariota. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that one incomplete. They try to sneak in a deep ball with the clock running down, but to no avail as time will expire on this 3rd quarter of play. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. From the gun, a run for Johnson. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Another example of just a dominant performance by this defense.
Yeah, you hear all the time about teams that try to steal signals from the other side and try and learn their signs and their tendencies. It's almost like they got the answers to the exam the night before and were well prepared for this final.
That's what I do. 3. Mike 5. Good track. Mike 5. Defense wins championships, baby. Watch 3.
Now Mariota on 4th down. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Larry Ogunjobi. And the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
This is one of those plays that could go either way, but we've seen the influence of the college game now in the NFL, where we're seeing more and more of these plays run, and that one went for a big gain.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. And he takes this one in for a Brown score. Odell Beckham, his 21st touchdown of the season. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. They'll run here with counter. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave them with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
On 3rd down, Johnson. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. Call it a gain of 5. 4th down now.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They're already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. Mariota to throw for it on 4th. The throw on target to his receiver, McKenzie. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. On 1st and 10, here's Mariota. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. DJ Swearinger, a sack on the safety blitz.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And this Browns defense coming to life. They get him behind the line for a 2nd straight play. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
3. Mike 5. You can't block me.
3rd and long here for Mariota. And they get to Mariota here as he's dropped on the sack.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Drop deep. 1. They're not ready for this. They still playing soccer.
4th down, Mariota. Space to maneuver at the 40. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's McKenzie. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position. Well, the lead late in the fourth, but Mayfield's going to throw it. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Let's get it together, defense.
Mayfield looks to throw. He's going to wind up and air it out. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by the former first-rounder Artie Burns.
Well, so much of playing quarterback in the snow comes down to trying not to do too much. You can't just keep telling yourself, throws downfield we've run every day in practice all year. But guess what? They suddenly become more difficult. And this one gets away from him and winds up an interception.
Mariota. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Second and 6 at the 44-yard line.
Throwing, Mariota. He's going to let it fly. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. The Steelers on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This will be 3rd and 6.
3. Crunch. 3. Motion.
Mariota now. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
And they're going to go for it here on the 4th down try. Mariota's going to stay out there.
Out.
Desperation time. Mariota on 4th down. And he'll find Washington. That's complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Now the Steelers use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds left to play. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
One.
Again, it's Mariota. Now a desperation throw deep down. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's 1 timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And this was truly a total